we will discuss about the functions of brain. So cerebrum, you know that it is the largest part of the brain, and it is called the seat of intelligence. Seat of intelligence. Now, what are the functions carried by cerebrum? So, seat of mental abilities. So, different kinds of abilities which are there in our body, or we are going to exhibit, that is because of cerebrum, and it controls the memory, thinking memory, then reasoning, then emotions and speech. Then it also helps in interpreting sensations. So our body is going to respond, no? So respond to the cold, heat, pain and pressure. Now let us learn the functions of diencephalon. So it acts as a relay center for sensory impulses like pain. So we are feeling pain, or we can able to know the temperature, light. So all that is because of diencephalon. And it is acting as reflex center for muscular activities. So we are doing work with the help of hands and legs, that is because of diencephalon. Then it is center for certain emotions like anger, we are showing anger, etc. Then it is also helping in maintaining water balance. So osmoregulation in our body is because of diencephalon, and blood pressure, BP of our body is maintained because of diencephalon. Body temperature, so we are going to maintain constant body temperature, that is also because of diencephalon. Sometimes it may raise or decrease. Then sleep and hunger. Then, so you know that the diencephalon, hypothalamus and thalamus regions where pituitary gland is present. So this pituitary gland is also controlled by the diencephalon. So we are having this hypothalamus. So hypothalamus controls pituitary gland, which is said to be a master gland of endocrine system. Midbrain is the small thick stalked portion which connects forebrain with the cerebellum and pons of hindbrain. So now what are the functions that midbrain is carrying? So it relays motor impulses both from cerebral cortex to the spinal cord, and relays impulses from spinal cord to the thalamus. So that's why here motor impulses. Then it is also going to show the reflexes for sight, then hearing. So hindbrain is the last part of the brain, consists of two parts, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So now cerebellum, if we take, so it is present below the cerebellum is located below the cerebrum and above the medulla oblongata. It consists of large cerebral hemispheres. And what are the functions of cerebellum? So it maintains posture of our body. So sitting erect or standing erect positions, that maintenance of posture of our body is because of cerebellum, and equilibrium. So we are going to balance the work whatever we are going to do. So that is because of cerebellum, and proper muscle tone, muscle strength of our body is because of cerebellum. And it also helps in coordinating voluntary movements which are initiated by cerebrum. Oblongata is the last part of the brain which extends from pons to spinal cord. So it is triangular in shape, and what are the functions carried out by medulla oblongata? So it contains center for cardia, that is heart, how it is functioning, then that contraction and relaxation of the muscular walls of the heart, then respiratory, inhalation, exhalation, and mechanism how that air is going to enter from lungs to the blood vessels. Then vasomotor. So what is the meaning of vasomotor? So now the blood vessel constricts, when it is during pumping of blood, it constricts and relaxing. So that constriction and relaxation is also under the control of medulla oblongata. So that one, that activity we call it as the vasomotor activity. Then it also helps in coordinating reflex actions like swallowing food, coughing. Reflex actions means here swallowing food. So in a proper way the food is swallowed. But if any problem, if it is there, so that swallowing not causing any problem, that is because of medulla oblongata. Then coughing, sneezing and vomitings. Students, note down all the parts of the brain and the functions carried out by each and every part. Brain weighs approximately 1400 grams. Though it comprises very little, more than 2% of the body weight, it uses 20% of whole body energy. Is the female brain weighs 1275 grams. Spinal cord is extended portion from the medulla oblongata. So it is almost cylindrical and it is present in the backbone, vertebral column, and in spinal cord the grey matter is towards center and white matter is towards periphery. And in brain, if you observe, grey matter is towards periphery and white matter is towards grey matter in brain. Grey matter is towards periphery and white matter is towards center. So make a note of the difference between the grey matter and white matter of brain and spinal cord. So in spinal cord, the grey matter is towards center and white matter is towards the periphery. So now the spinal cord is going to help in the controlling and coordinating some actions in our body, that is muscular movements, and it was not known till 16th and 17th centuries. So scientists Leonardo da Vinci and Stephen Hales conducted experiments on the functioning of spinal cord, and they proved what is the role of spinal cord in the nervous system. So when the frog, whichever where the brain is disconnected, so some muscular activities were exhibited by the frog. When the frog was pinched or pricked with a pin, so the muscular activities were observed, and when that muscular activities are because of spinal cord, when the spinal cord was damaged, the frog died. So when the brain is disconnected, the frog, when it is pricked, it was the muscular movements were observed. Whereas when that spinal cord is damaged, then the frog died. So with this, the scientists came to know that the role of spinal cord in the nervous system. So spinal cord not only acts as a relay center or passing information from brain to the different parts, but it is having its own role, that is controlling some neural activities in our body.